Look at me. Who do you see? Do you see a wild, unfocused girl who probably struggled in school? Or do you see a talented honor student who conquered advanced placement, psychology, physics, and calculus in high school? Do you see a quitter? Or do you see a young woman who faced and overcame adversity? One who left undergrad in her senior year, had a son at 22, became a technically trained hair colorist and business owner, all before completing undergrad, finally, in the midst of a global pandemic, becoming an educator, facing and overcoming challenge after challenge, all while being a pursuant of school psychology via graduate school. When you look at me, who do you see? According to the American Psychology Association, also known as APA, how cultural groups are viewed is based on something that we may not even be aware of: implicit bias. APA defines implicit bias as the unconscious attitudes, stereotypes, or prejudice that shape individual views of certain groups, often based on race, ethnicity, or other characteristics. In the realm of education, implicit bias runs rampant and appears to place limitations on young aspirants with big goals and big dreams. Today, I will list and further elaborate the impact of implicit bias on African American students and provide example. Upon disclosing the impact of these biases, I am hopeful that it will prompt thought and motivate a strong desire for a call to action to change the lens from a limited, closed view to an open, unbiased view. Dhaliwal et al. Has shown that educators who harbor implicit bias contribute to racial disparities in student achievement and discipline outcomes. For example, an article in Educators Next revealed that college completion rates are systematically higher for students whose teachers held them at a higher expectation. And unfortunately, white teachers, which is what is mostly comprised of America's education system, were found to hold their Black students at lower expectations than the similar situated white students. Smith and Reeves contends that students of color are often taught by teachers who do not understand cultural context in classroom behavior or the role that culture even plays in the teaching and learning process. Even the Department of Education for Civil Rights found that nationally, 5% of white boys and 2% of white girls are given one or more out-of-school suspension annually, as compared to 18% of Black boys and 10% of Black girls. Let's meet Jalen. He's a high school senior with a love for math and science. He is an ambitious and bright African American student with dreams of going to college and pursuing a career in engineering. He is diligent, hardworking, and has a respectful demeanor, one we do not see in high school students today. There's an AP physics course being offered in the spring. And though he knows it will be challenging, he is excited because he knows it will look good on his college applications and further prepare him for his career in engineering. A teacher learns of Jalen's excitement and says to him, "Jalen, I don't think you should sign up for that AP Physics course. It's rigorous and will require a lot of studying. I don't think it's the best fit for you." He then goes to his counselor to ask about enrolling in the course. And instead of meeting his excitement, his counselor says, "Jalen, don't worry about that course. Instead, have you thought about trying out for the basketball team because you're so tall? I really think basketball is more suited to your strengths." Despite his stellar academic record and his passion for STEM subjects, he is constantly met with skepticism and doubt from teachers and other school staff who harbor implicit biases about his abilities and potential. These subtle but pervasive messages slowly erode Jalen's confidence and sense of self-worth. They reinforce harmful stereotypes that limit his opportunities for academic and professional growth. Jalen's story is just one of many mild examples of how African American students are impacted by implicit bias daily. So what do we do to change it? First, we need to recognize that we can make the difference. We have the power to challenge and dismantle these biases, to create classrooms in which every student is seen, valued, and empowered to succeed. We can nurture the intellectual capacity and interest of our Black students. First, by meeting their excitement with our own. Applying a strength-based perspective, which simply means to focus on what is positive and right with our students instead of what is wrong with them. We must also continuously learn new approaches through professional development programs that are focused on multicultural instruction and engagement approaches in the classroom to connect with those who may not look like us or come from our same background. Went et al. Identified that Black boys are often treated as older and less innocent than their same age white peers. At times, they are feared and misunderstood by those charged with supporting their educational needs during critical periods when they are most in need of nurturing, support, and guidance. By acknowledging our biases, fostering inclusive environments, and advocating for equitable opportunities, we can break down the barriers and blaze the way to a brighter future. Now sharing the negative impacts of the implicit biases in education and what we can do about them, look at me again. Who do you see? Let's work together to ensure that every child has the opportunity to thrive, regardless of the biases that may cloud our own vision. Because when we break down the barriers and see below the surface, we unlock the opportunity for limitless potential within each and every student. Thank you.